Of course, everybody's familiar with Tyrann Mathieu,
Right.
the Honey Badger, as
Yeah.
everybody calls him, out of LSU. Apparently had some off-the-field issues, and he's not the only one. Of course, not the first person that we know, a player that we've known to have issues.
Right.
What are some of the things that your feelings about this, and some of the things you've had to deal with as far as athletes with issues like that?
Yeah, I had a kid. I had a guy years ago, Tango McCullough. He went to Texas A&M,
Mm-hmm.
and he also got kicked out the same way he did. Flunked a couple of drug tests, ended up transferring
Mm-hmm.
down to Alabama State, and ended up went free agent in the league.
Mm-hmm.
But what happens is a lot of these kids make that mistake, and it can mess their draft statics up.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have Janoris Jenkins last year at Florida, which he ended up still going second round.
Right, right.
One thing I hate about the Honey Badger situation is,
Mm-hmm.
he's not really an elite cornerback.
Correct.
And,
All right.
The position he was in, he was at the right place at the right time, making big plays with all that around him. And now he's kind of going to be on his own on an island.
I see.
So this is really going to affect his draft status because a lot of NFL scouts don't think he's an elite cornerback.
Right.
Then it depends where he goes, where he's transferred to. It's going to be very interesting.
So you feel like basically that the only reason why he was a Heisman Trophy candidate and on that stage was because he was at LSU at this time.
Well, he did good at LSU. He
Right.
made big plays. Like I said, he was at the right place at the right time. And the D-line he had,
Yeah.
the best D-line,
Oh, yeah.
the
Oh,
best
yeah.
D-line in the country.
Yeah.
So but by
Well, I
him
don't know.
being
Alabama would probably have something to say about that.
well, I'm sure. That's why they both played in the championship.
Yeah.
But this kid,
Yeah.
like I said, it's kind of gonna be on his own on the island
Yeah.
with himself. So it's definitely gonna hurt his draft stats.
It's gonna hurt him.
You take Janoris Jenkins.
Yeah.
Janoris was a elite cornerback.
Right. That's right.
But
That's
this
right.
kid, to me, is not an elite cornerback, and I
Yeah.
think that's really going to affect them.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times, that's the purpose of kids making the right decisions,
Mm-hmm.
going to the right schools,
Mm-hmm.
put themselves in a good position, put them around good players.
Mm-hmm.
It will help them make plays.
Right. Right. Okay. Now, as far as that's concerned, now since he's gotten himself in this situation, he is going to have to make a choice maybe to leave LSU. And find the right school for him. But what about these kids, like some of we already talked about the top 10, and these kids, some of them have already made the decision as to where they're going to go.
Right.
But most kids have not. So how do you help a kid pick the right school for them, something that fits them?
Well, I think the main thing parents need to they got to look at the whole picture
Mm-hmm.
and be educated about it. One thing is make sure that what school the system's going to fit you.
Right.
And you're having a chance to play.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times, it's all about being in the right environments.
Right. Right.
And so that plays a big role for a lot of kids.
Mm-hmm.
You have kids in the past that made wrong decisions. The system didn't fit them, or
Right.
had too many players at that position there.
Right.
So that plays a big role.
Yeah.
It's all about the system,
Mm-hmm.
and it's all about the depth chart.
Mm-hmm.
You're making the right decision.
Right.
Make it hard on yourself.
Right. Yeah. I agree with you on those points. Talk about the college game. Man, I'm excited about the college game this year, as we know that A&M is moving to the SEC along with Missouri, the Tigers, and that's going to be quite a challenge for A&M. But I'm sure the SEC schools are looking forward to it, just like A&M is. And what do you think about this?
I mean, the SEC, that's right on time. They wanted a piece of Texas.
Mm-hmm.
And so that deal there, I mean, it's going to be tough on A&M. I mean, they wasn't even ready for the Big 12.
Right.
Them going to the SEC, that's a man conference, baby, NFL. Yeah. And it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough on them in Missouri. Only difference is Missouri probably going to be more advanced going in than A&M, but it's going to be tough. I mean, and the thing is, you got schools, they're going to play them. So they main thing is getting in Texas, getting the recruits.
Correct.
And that's one reason why I said the SEC wanted a piece of the schools wanted.
Right.
So you're going to have kids going to be getting recruited. Georgia going to come down there.
Yeah.
Alabama already there. Like I said, we have our number one player committed to Alabama.
Yeah.
And so in South Carolina, even schools that really don't come down there are going to come now just to get a piece of Texas. And they're going to like, hey, we play close to home, whether you're in the Dallas area, whether you're in the Houston area, and we play in them every year, and then that's their way. If they end up beating them, that's their way of, end up getting them.
Right.
And so it's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see, we got 3 kids committed to A&M in our top 10.
Yes,
So
that's right.
in my top 10. So it's going to be interesting to see if them kids going to stay with that commitment when the season starts.
Yeah.
Because I think it's going to be pretty ugly for the Aggies.
Yeah. I don't know. You think so? You don't think they'll surprise some people this year? You know, maybe a couple of teams or so? I'm not saying it's going to be LSU and Alabama, but I think they might surprise a few people. And then I'm also hearing some people say that, okay, A&M, they're on the tough side, the tough division of the SEC.
Yes.
Okay, they're in the tough
West,
side.
They're in the West.
Yeah, they're in the West. And the Missouri, they're over there with, who is it, the
Florida,
Commodores?
Georgia,
Okay, yeah. So people are saying that they're on the weaker side of the SEC. So.
Well, I put it like this. For a Big 12 team to go to the SEC, teams like A&M, Missouri, neither side are weak for them.
Okay.
It's just that Missouri gone to the weaker side, but it's not weak to Missouri. It's going to be strong. You know what I'm saying? So, you know.
Who do you think is strongest on that side, on the Missouri side? Okay, we know
South
Vandy's
Carolina right now.
South Carolina, Gamecocks. Okay. The old ball coach. Okay.
Yeah, Spurrier.
Right.
Yeah,
Spurrier.
And Georgia.
Okay.
And Georgia's gonna be real good.
Oh, and the Georgia.
They're gonna be real good this year. But the thing is with Georgia, they got so many. They got so many.
Georgia will be good because I remember who was that beat them last year? Was it Boise State? Went in there and beat Georgia last year.
It was a couple of years ago.
Yeah, a couple of years ago,
Yeah.
Boise beat them. Yeah. Well, okay. Well, maybe they'll get better this year. I don't know. Well, yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I'm looking forward to it. And then, okay, so since A&M and Mizzou left the Big 12, went to the SEC, and now what is it? Texas Christian, TCU, has now come into the Big 12. So, what's your thoughts on that? You know?
Yeah, we got TCU, and we also have West Virginia coming. And well, TCU to me is the best.
West Virginia, the Mountaineers?
They're coming too.
Oh my goodness!
And, you know, their head coach has a history in Texas.
Oh boy! Look out, Longhorns! Look out, Longhorns!
I always said for the last 5 years, I say TCU had the best program in the state of Texas.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be interesting. I really expect big things out of them early. I really think they're gonna have a chance of winning the conference. And they also have a good running back. B.J. Caroline from West Side.
Yes.
And I think that kid, to me, he was the best back in the country last year.
You think so?
Oh, yeah, I know so.
He's outstanding running back.
And
he
got there early, a semester early.
Yeah.
And he's going to play a lot this year.
Right.
So, and I like their quarterback. I think they're going to raise a lot of noise.
Yeah.
Coach Patterson going to raise a lot of noise in the Big 12.
In the Big 12.
Yeah, West Virginia going to do good, too.
Yeah.
And they definitely, when you play, they ain't going to throw it in there. You're going to keep it in there.
Yeah. Yeah, it's tough. And it's tough for those Big 12 schools when they travel to West Virginia and play the Mountaineers. That's a very tough place to play.
Yeah, that's the thing with all these different conferences.
Yeah.
They got to go all over the country because you got the Big East, you got Boise State, you got
Yeah.
San Diego State. They going to the Big East.
Yeah.
So you know, you got teams in Conference USA now going to the Big East, which like University of Houston. So it's gonna be real.
It's gonna be real tough.
It's gonna be real. The traveling thing is. It's gonna be real crazy.
Yeah.
Because you got schools on top of one another, but you got schools that come way across the country.
Right.
So
that's correct. Okay. All right. Well, that's our discussion for today. Thank you so much for joining us for Bayou City Preps. We're presented to you once again by Gulf Coast Gridiron of Houston. I'm Wes White. This is Patrick Truesdale. Good afternoon.